What is up, XRP and crypto community? Welcome back to another video. Thanks for all the new subscribers on the channel. For a while, I was actually just losing subscribers every time I put a video out, and that was kind of demotivating, but I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content. I try and bring you the most transparent content I can. I want to talk about a Ripple buyback confirmed. Yes, I'm serious. And some ETF updates. Today's January 10th, and this is the deadline for a lot of these ETFs to get approved by the SEC. And a lot of stuff is going on. So this came out from Cointelegraph 4 hours ago. CBOE approves listing of spot Bitcoin ETFs from multiple asset managers. In January 10th letter filed today, they said it had approved spot Bitcoin ETF offerings from ARK, Invesco, VanEck, Fidelity, WisdomTree, and Franklin Templeton. The deadline for final approval or denial of the ARK Bitcoin ETF is today, leading to speculation that the SEC may approve multiple offerings from asset managers simultaneously. And this makes sense because if they approved the ETF for one investment firm and not others, it would give a competitive advantage to that investment firm being the first one. So it would make sense that the SEC would either approve all of the ETFs or none at all. But be careful, guys. Look at this right here. 550 million bridged into Coinbase in Bitcoin. If this was stable coins, it would be bullish. But the fact that someone put $500 million of Bitcoin onto Coinbase signals a sell action. Only reason you're putting hundreds of millions of dollars onto a centralized exchange with counterparty risk is because you would be looking to sell it. And this guy speculates whales are getting ready to dump for the upcoming SEC Bitcoin ETF announcement later today. Really quick, guys, if you need a spot to get crypto, check out Uphold in the video description below. It's where I get my XRP daily. And if you want $41 for free to get some more crypto, sign up with Webull, deposit 1 penny, and you're guaranteed $41 in free stock shares. Sell your stocks, close your account, and do whatever you want with that 41 bucks. You can find Webull in the video description below. So Fidelity already has 4 Bitcoin ETFs on their platform. You can see here in this picture, ARK shares, VanEck, Invesco, and WisdomTree Bitcoin ETF. So this is just pure speculation, but it seems to me that later today we're going to see an announcement where these ETFs are approved. So definitely after dinner, if you get some time away from your family, I would be checking that out because it's going to be very volatile in the market. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Personally, I think we're going to be seeing a dump in the market when these ETFs do go live. I think a lot of the reason that Bitcoin has been pumping these last few months is because of speculation from massive investment firms like BlackRock filing these ETFs. I think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event, just like with the Coinbase IPO. Charles Gasparino says one senior executive at a major Bitcoin spot ETF application company tells Fox Business News that the SEC government had informed his firm that the fund will be approved today, sometime after the close of trading. However, he added this caveat. This is Gary Gensler, so who the F knows when this happens? Developing. So like I said, guys, around dinner time later in the afternoon, later tonight, I'd be watching to see the news on this. And once again, we're seeing major hypocrisy from Jamie Dimon and JP Morgan. The CEO, Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, says Bitcoin has no value and its use cases are this, tax avoidance, laundering, and this. JP Morgan, keep in mind, is an authorized participant for BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. So how do you align those two statements? You're saying there's no underlying value, but then you obviously see value in BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to be the authorized participant. Let's talk about this Ripple buyback confirmed. Ripple initiating 285 million share buyback that values the company at $11 billion. This came out just 2 hours ago. They're not buying back XRP, but they are buying back shares of the company, in my opinion, so they can go public. They're planning to buy back 285 million worth of shares from early investors, a move that values the company at 11.3 billion. Early investors will be able to sell as much as 6% of their holdings, which cited anonymous sources and first reported the news by Reuters. Ripple plans to spend $500 million to cover the cost of converting restricted stock units into shares and taxes. So I don't think Ripple is going to be going public in the United States just because of the lack of regulatory clarity. It doesn't make any sense for Ripple to stay in the United States when they were attacked by the SEC and there still isn't super good amount of regulatory clarity. Yes, they won the lawsuit. However, there's not a lot of rules and regulations that have been put forth by the SEC surrounding digital assets. And for a company like Ripple, it just makes sense to go public in a region of the world that is more accepting of crypto. Whether that's Dubai, whether that's Singapore, whether it's Hong Kong, who knows? And this right here was from CNBC Squawk Box talking about these ETFs, some very valuable information. Take a listen.
And here with us now for a look at the crypto industry heading into the new year, Michael Sonnenschein, Grayscale CEO. We got a crypto super PAC trying to get things done. Maybe that's what's needed to get Congress to finally do something. Michael, you part of this?
So that was actually just announced this morning. You know, for us at Grayscale over the last year, we've spent, I can't even tell you how many weeks on the Hill, really ensuring that we're advocating for our investors and making sure that as our regulators are looking at crypto, they're doing so through a really informed lens. So for us, it's really been more about education.
You think the easy gains have been made? People couldn't figure out what was happening with Bitcoin. Was it moved from 25 to, I think it almost got to 45 at one point. But now, you know, we're talking about 41,000. Even gold, I think, was trying to get through 2,100, and it failed in trying to do that. This was all interest rate related and pivot related, and the perception that maybe the Fed eases next year with some cuts. When does it refocus on a spot ETF? And do you expect that to get things moving again?
Well, I think if you look back at this year, the price appreciation you've seen in Bitcoin has really been driven by both the macro and micro forces. I think you're right on the macro front. Inflationary pressures, rising rates have caused investors to think about Bitcoin as a store of value or, you know, a hedge in their portfolios. But on the micro front, you know, earlier this summer when my team had our court victory, I think that certainly unlocked a lot of optimism amongst investors about GBTC and the prospects for it to uplist as a spot Bitcoin ETF. So as we turn the corner into the new year, I know there's a lot of focus on that from the investment community.
The 65,000, 100,000, I don't know what you think it is in the cards, but what do you think it's already in the asset right now, if you want to call it an asset? Is it already there? Once it happens, do you expect it to go to new highs? Or it just seems like we've already paid a lot of it forward with the move we saw from, I mean, it was as low as 17,000 this year.
Sure. Well, you know, Joe, I'm not one to make price predictions, but I do think there is a lot of optimism again in the market. I think a lot of investors are adding Bitcoin to their portfolios. And when we look ahead to the hopeful approval for spot Bitcoin ETFs, it really is going to unlock the opportunity to a part of the investment community that, for better or worse, but I would say for worse, has unfortunately been locked out of the opportunity to participate in having Bitcoin exposure in their portfolios. So we're really talking about the advised market here in the US, which is today about $30 trillion worth of advised wealth that we hope the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, the uplisting of GBTC, will allow for that opportunity and for those investors to partake in it as well.
The super PAC, I think, is going to earmark certain crypto-friendly members of Congress. But you've got, you know, on the other hand, when Jamie Dimon gets in front of senators and says that the only use case for Bitcoin is for terrorists and money launderers, and then you got Elizabeth Warren and other senators all nodding, I mean, you got to worry about that. You don't, you know, a spot ETF is one thing, but an outright ban isn't totally, look at that. The only use case for, I mean, that is, I don't know. Jamie's a smart guy. It's always kind of surprising to me when I read something like that. But he's not, you know, he's pretty outspoken and frank about what he does believe. So you can't, I don't think you can just put the worst case scenario aside that eventually Congress does something really bad to crypto.
Well, whether you're the CEO of a major financial institution or a sitting politician, you're of course going to be able to have your own personal opinions about these new technologies. That could be crypto, that could be Bitcoin specifically, but it's actually those very same financial institutions and, the types of bills that, sitting politicians are looking at now that are actually modifying themselves to account for the needs of modern day investors and modern day citizens. And that includes
Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed daily crypto content, make sure you hit that like button and or subscribe. And until next time, my friends.